Yo, what's up guys, Gaming Magic 13 here, and welcome back to the 100% walkthrough for LEGO Batman the video game. Today I'll be playing through the second mission in the Riddler's Revenge, an icy reception, and picking up the superhero achievement along the way. As soon as the level begins, head over to whichever side you choose, doesn't really matter which, and use your batarangs against the henchmen. Remember, goons are easy to melee down, but henchmen are armed with guns and are in turn more dangerous to you. Once the first initial wave of enemies are down, you can break open this set of crates right here. They're on either side, it doesn't matter which side you do first, and then assemble these pieces into a cannon. Once the cannon is built, another wave of enemies will come out of the respective truck. It'll usually be henchmen, so you can either let Robin deal with them, or you can use your batarangs against them. There might be a goon or two, but those are easy to deal with. Remember, prioritize your targets, because the henchmen have guns. Once the area is clear, jump on top of the orange valve, and then jump up on top of it 4 more times to launch a giant ice cream cone out of the cannon, which will destroy the spawning truck. That'll take care of the enemies on one side, but remember, you still have another side to deal with, and odds are a wave is going to come on and to attack you. So deal with the henchmen first, and then mop up the goons. Couple punches to dispatch them quickly. When you're set, head over to the opposing side, knock out these barrels, pick up the blue and purple studs along the way, and then assemble the pieces into another cannon. After you assemble the cannon on the opposite side, a wave of either henchmen or goons will come out of the truck to attack you. Goons will go down in a couple punches, and henchmen are about as dangerous as the goons when you go up in their faces because they won't fire their guns. Once the wave is cleared, jump on top of the orange valve 5 times and it'll destroy the opposing truck. And after that's done, the only thing you're going to see me do is punch a lot of boxes and even hop in the ice cream truck to run over the metal casings to get more studs. And this is probably a prime opportunity for me to explain exactly why you need to collect so many studs in these early sections of the level. The superhero achievement for this level is worth 60,000 studs, and in the boss fight for this level, it's really easy to lose a lot of your studs, so you want to try to get the superhero achievement at least during the early battle, or if not, before you even get to the battle. So that's why I'm going to take a lot of time throughout this entire level, picking up almost every single stud that I can find, and trying not to die once. I die maybe once by falling off the edge accidentally, but as you'll see, it doesn't do enough to hurt my overall score. Moral of the story is just try not to die and collect as many studs as possible, trying to follow the route that I take for breaking stuff. Once you've broken almost everything in the area to your satisfaction, come over to the left-hand corner and break up a few things to assemble a transformation pad so that you can get the magnet suit as Robin. The magnet suit is going to allow Robin to walk on magnetic surfaces, which will be very useful for the section up ahead. But other than that, the rest of this is just mindless bashing stuff around with the ice cream truck or your fists. So I'll see you guys when it's time to move into the next section. You want to assemble this lever to get some studs, but you're not going to be able to pull it unless you're going after the mini kit, which I'm not. So, we'll come back to that when we get to the free play section. Now listen carefully, because this is all going to happen real fast. Aim your batarang at the 4 latches at the corners of the gate, then once it falls, move over to the base of the ramp and use your batarang once more to quickly target and dispatch the 3 freeze girls that come charging down the ramp. While the freeze girls aren't any more dangerous than a regular goon, it's still just easier to deal with them because of the prime opportunity given to you. This puzzle's really easy. Just pull the lever until the big cone on the right matches the color of the small cone on the left. Then switch to Robin to walk up this magnetic surface using his magnet suit, and then pull the lever once more to do the same thing as below. Make the color of the big cone on the right match the color of the small cone on the left. Before you go into Freeze's Rare, be sure to walk over to the right and break this one lonely box, because remember, you need every stud that you can get. To do this effectively and efficiently, just use your batarang to target almost everything in this area. Assemble these pieces on the left into a green and red switch. And assemble these pieces on the right into a Batman suit swap. Once it's ready, hop into it with Batman and equip the glide suit. Now, what we're actually going to do is not solve the puzzle in this area first. Instead, backtrack out to the way we came in, and then use the glide suit to glide over to this hand railing on the right. Because while this should be possible only for free play, it can be done with story mode with the right technique. So use the glide suit to fly over to this handrail, then jump up and push right on whatever analog stick you're using until you get up onto the ledge and collect the 3 blue studs. It's not something a lot of people do, but it makes getting superhero just that little bit easier. Then head back inside and push the screen lever all the way around to lower the freeze fog. Then jump and hold the A button or whatever your jump button is to float across the gap, and then dispatch of the freeze girls over here. Again, they're about as dangerous and as weak as the goons are. Then reassemble the broken pieces of the bridge to allow Robin to cross on over. When you see these 2 ice cubes, use your batarang on the 2 things that are suspending them in midair, and that will allow both ice cubes to fall to the ground. When they fall, they'll dispatch sets of Lego pieces, which you can then use to assemble a ramp. Head up your newly built ramp and hop on one of the yellow valves. Your AI partner will automatically hop on the other one, and that will turn off the freeze fog, allowing you to pass through. This ice cream is harmless, it's just a little slippery, and it can make you fall off the edge. Dispatch of these 3 freeze girls as they come down with a few punches. They shouldn't be a problem to you. Then switch to Robin and use his magnet suit to crawl up the magnet, and then assemble these pieces into a grappling hook that allows Batman to come up. Now we're going to use the glide suit once again to fly over here, grab the blue stud, and then dispatch of this freeze girl with 1 punch. Then glide back to the main platform and get ready to deal with 4 freeze girls armed with weapons. Just like the henchmen, they're completely harmless if you go up in their faces, and they should all be dispatched easily with 1 punch. Then glide over to this middle platform to grab the 9 studs, including 1 blue stud, which again makes getting superhero not easy, but just a little bit easier. Once you get over here, switch to Robin and climb up this spiral shape of a magnet. When you get to the top, break everything here, and then reassemble the pieces into finishing this box. Once it's complete, push it off the edge. And this is one of the few times in the mission where I was foolish and fell off the edge. Actually wait for this platform to come around, don't try and jump for it, because as you can see, that just gets you killed. And make sure you come over here as Robin, not Batman, because there's a magnet over here that you need to climb up, and obviously Batman cannot do that. Besides, Batman will come over here on his own. You might not be smart enough to jump off, but you can just go to the next area as Robin, and he'll teleport on the way. There are going to be 3 freeze girls waiting for you on the other side, but again, they're about as dangerous as a goon, and can be dispatched with a few short punches. Then just break everything in this area, and once you're ready to move across the gap, use Batman to glide across. When you get to the other side, break what's necessary, and then push this green switch over here to force the grappling hook all the way over to where Robin is. Once it crosses the gap, Robin will automatically hop on top of the grappling hook, and then you just have to push on the red side of the switch to get him to come back automatically. Then jump onto this white valve, allowing a staircase for Robin to walk up. Then once Robin hops on this white valve, you can hop off, because then the staircase will stay constant and you can cross up as well. Hop across these blue plates. You can't get that blue stud on story mode, it just is impossible. That's the other time in this mission where I was foolish and fell off, but it didn't hurt me in the end. 2 regular goons here, again, just a few punches will dispatch of them quickly. And this is just my way of proving you can't get that blue stud. When you're ready to move on, either glide or slide down, your choice. Then punch out the freeze girls that are going to be at the bottom here. You should know the drill by now. Now, what a lot of people will probably do in this section is get rid of these 2 caps with the battering, which is what you're supposed to do, but then they'll immediately hop into the freeze cannon and start freezing up the ice. That's not what you want to do to make this effective. What you want to do is glide over here with Batman and then use your battering against the freeze girls from a distance. That way, when you switch back to Robin and hop in the freeze cannon to freeze up these little patches of ice, making them solid, there are no freeze girls waiting to ambush you when you get to the other side. Now be careful here, because this is where you'll often fall off the edge. Just use shadows and don't use abrupt movements with the analog stick. When you reach this side, climb up with Robin against the magnet, pull the lever, and then you can use either character to come up with the grappling hook. It doesn't matter whether you open the gate first or if you grab the studs first, it doesn't matter, because it doesn't trigger the boss unless you actually step through the hatch. But I like to come down here, glide across as Batman, and pick up as many extra studs as I can. You need a way back across, to make sure to break these pieces and reassemble them back into a tightrope. Other than that, there's a few gold studs down here. Gold studs are worth 100. And from there, the only other way to get studs is by breaking these railings. Now listen carefully here. If you've gotten to this point and you do not have at least 55,000 studs, backtrack through the level and break any of the side railings you haven't already broken. If everything is already broken, you fell off the edge or got knocked out and lost to studs. Because even when you get knocked out and by one of the enemies, you don't get back all of your studs. If you got to this point and you just have 50,000 studs, but the things still aren't broken along the edges, one way or the other, you cannot get superhero on this run. You need to move into the final boss fight with at least 55,000 studs. If you have more than that, that is great. If you don't, and there's nothing left for you to break, you can't get superhero, because there's almost nothing in the final boss level for you to break. There's just enough to get you to 60,000 with 55,000, and at the very least 52,000. And if you haven't followed the route I've taken here and broken pretty much everything along your path, you need to do it again. And that's what I'm doing here, is backtracking through the level, breaking all the handrails along the way, so that I can get as many studs as I can before moving into the final boss area. The most amount of extra studs you'll get is around 8,000, but even that's with a lucky run, and you'll likely die by freeze at least once and lose your studs. So it's better to be safe than sorry with 55,000 than to go for the bare minimum with 52,000. If you have anything less than that, start the level again or wait for your next run, because it's just not going to happen. So this is why I sped up the footage, because me just breaking all these handrails isn't very entertaining to watch, and it's not anything that I can't just explain with words. But once you're ready to activate the final boss, step on both of these platforms, step on one and your AI buddy will activate the other one, and then move over to this crate right here, push it towards the very end of the track, and that'll dispatch the second of 2 freeze fogs, and then you can proceed into the final boss fight. So I'm not gonna lie to you, this boss fight's pretty tough. First thing you want to do is use your batarangs to dispatch of all the freeze girls and mop up the rest of them with punch attacks. Then use one of your characters to intentionally get frozen. Then switch to the other character and get around Mr. Freeze on the backside. If both of them get frozen, wiggle an analog stick back and forth to get free of the grasp. In an ideal world, you want to do what I'm doing here by tricking Mr. Freeze into pursuing one of your characters while the other character stays behind and can get a sneak attack from behind. Because if you stand in front, you'll just get frozen. But if you're behind him, you can punch him twice, and he will go back up to the ledge and retreat. And if you're caught in front of him, then all you have to do is just keep circling around him like you saw me doing to get one character in front, one character behind. When one character gets frozen, switch together and attack from behind. If that doesn't happen, keep circling around until you get him. Use your batarang to attempt to dispatch the two freeze girls and mop them up with punches if that doesn't work. And before you assemble the cannon, break these surrounding boxes and crates and ice cream cones to get as many studs as you possibly can. This won't get you to superhero even with 55,000. The trick to get that is going to be coming later. Once you've broken everything in the area that you can break, that being those little two side packages on the left and right, come back to the broken pile of pieces and reassemble them into another cannon. Once you've collected all studs that fall from the finished build, jump up and down on this orange valve 5 more times, and that will fire away in the cannon and hit this fan right here, allowing Mr. Freeze to drop down once more. Now, this time 2 freeze girls come down with him, but those can easily be dispatched with either a batarang or punches. I don't recommend punches because that forces you to stop up close and personal, and 9 times out of 10, that's what Mr. Freeze is aiming at you. Just keep moving with Mr. Freeze and do the same thing as before with one character in front, one character behind. Perseverance is key. 9 times out of 10 it won't work first of all, but just keep circling around him, getting one character in front, one character in back, and you'll get him eventually. This right here is a rare scenario because what happened is I was able to take cover behind Batman being frozen, and then as soon as Batman got broken to bits, I used Robin to jump up and do a ground pound sneak attack on Mr. Freeze. It's a rare occurrence, but if it happens, take advantage of it because it's a lot easier than waiting for him to circle around again. I got another lucky hit by having one character in front and one character behind there, but again, you might not get that lucky. First things first, use your batarang to dispatch the 2 freeze girls that drop down. Then switch to Robin, or if you're already playing as him, climb up the magnet on the left, jump across this green padding in the middle, and then pull the lever on the other side. Then drop down again and use punches to dispatch the 3 freeze girls that follow. Come over to this pile of parts and construct it into a box on wheels. 3 freeze girls will drop down from the ceiling, but those can be dealt with punches and batarangs, and if you're lucky enough, your AI partner might even keep them distracted while you build. So now that I have superhero, I don't have to worry about dying anymore and losing my studs, because once you hit the threshold, it can't go down. Push this box all the way to the end, stopping to take care of any freeze girls that try to stop you. Dispatch the wave of freeze girls that falls with a few punches. Nothing hard. Then rinse and repeat this process with Robin on the other side. That being lever, drop down for the freeze girl wave, build the box, push the box, and let the ice cube drop. For the final wave with Mr. Freeze, you want to try and dispatch the 4 Freeze Girls first, but if that doesn't work, try to get Mr. Freeze trained on one character and then use the other character to smack him from behind. Same strategy as always. I get killed by the Freeze Girls here, but it doesn't matter because I already have Superhero. As always, use the circle strafing technique to get behind him, and once he drops down from the ledge, it's 2 punches to take care of his 2 remaining hearts, and then that is level completed. For Batman, we got the glide suit, and for Robin, we got the magnet suit. And that's going to do it for this episode. So, thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for next time. And until then, this has been Game Magic 13. Signing off saying I hope you have a fantastic Oracle day. And I'll catch you all next time when I show you how to beat Two-Face Chase and get the superhero ranking for it. Goodbye!